Hey, it's Nick here again from Grayscale Gorilla. I am the Gorilla, and in this quick video, we're going to talk about the new sculpting tools in version 14 of Cinema 4D. Frankly, we're just still learning a lot more about these tools, but I figured we can show you how to set this up and start to play along with it. We're going to have some more tutorials coming soon on more in-depth stuff, but let's head on into R14. Let me show you how to set this up so you guys can start to play around with the new sculpting tools. So here we are in Cinema 14, and first we need an object. In this case, I'm just going to use a sphere because why not? And we need to make it editable. So the sculpting system needs an editable object, which means we just need to hit C to make it editable. And then we have a new layout here. Up and under layout, we have sculpting. Now, if we go to sculpting layout, we're going to see this first button is the only one highlighted, and that's subdivide. And this allows us to subdivide this object on the fly using the sculpting algorithm here to kind of make more and more geometries. And you can see it showing higher and higher polygon counts as we subdivide more and more and more. And this is going to give us geometry that we can then play and pull around. So now we have all these tools that light up that allow us to morph and push and pull on this geometry. So from here, just grab a tool and you're going to see a brush pop up into the screen. And also, let's turn off symmetry for now. I'll show you that in a second. But let me turn off all the symmetry and just show you, if you could just start drawing right on this object, you're going to see it's pulling and pushing these polygons around and starting to allow you to morph and kind of play around with your object. So that's the pull. We have wax, and we won't have time in this video to get into each and every one of these, but pick some and start playing around. Grab's fun and allow you to just grab geometry and just kind of pull it up. But then there's these symmetry tools, and this is where it gets pretty powerful for me and pretty fun for more motion graphics kind of stuff. It allows you to grab symmetry. So let's grab the YZ symmetry, which is good for things like faces and stuff like that. I'm going to grab a pull and also turn on the symmetry and show you as I draw on one side, it's mirroring it on the other side. It's making a symmetrical shape. So this allows you to make patterns a little bit easier. And there's also this radial symmetry that you should play with. When you turn on radial symmetry, you can crank that up and pick something like maybe ZX here. Play around with all this stuff. But what this allows you to do is draw patterns that go all the way around the object. So you can see I drew once, and now there's how many copies? 9 copies of this around the edge. And this allows you to add detail and add little shapes really quickly around your objects. Well, so a sphere's fun, but when you get the sculpting tools, you also get this preset bundle here. And it's under your object browser here, your presets there. Looks like they renamed that to presets, but it should be all set over here. And if you go in, you can see a sculpting menu, and when you open up the folder, you're going to get base meshes. And when you look in here, we can go sculpt a dinosaur, we can go sculpt faces and all this stuff. So let's pull in a generic face here, and let me show you how to set that up with some symmetry so you can start to play around with this face here. So we have our face, and we're going to do the same thing. We're going to select the face, we're going to go to our sculpting and just start subdividing that face. And it's going to give us more and more geometry to then play around with. So now we can grab these tools, and now we can go on on one of those symmetry modes, not radial, but YZ should work fine. And now if I want to, make these ridiculous large bumpy cheeks, it'll show up on both sides. And if we want to give them little sexy horns there, we can do that too. So start playing around. There's a lot of different tools, and we're going to play around with a lot more of what they do. Oh, and before I leave, I wanted to show you, if you want the symmetry to work on all the tools, what you can do is just turn on link symmetry, turn on the symmetry, and now, no matter what tool you pick, if it's this one, or flatten, or wax, each tool will keep the symmetry shape. So this may come in handy if you're, again, working on a face. You want it to be identical on both sides. And before we leave, I think we need to just cut this guy a big grin in the middle of his face. Yeah, that's expert stuff right there. We will have more in-depth videos on what you can actually do with some of these sculpting tools and how you can try to integrate it into something you're working on. But until then, hope you're playing around with it. Hope you're enjoying 14, and I'll see you in a video really soon. Bye, everybody.